Ready to go.
Make sure, Nick, are you rolling?
Rolling.
Bingo. Coach, you.
We've had a great camp. Really excited where we're at. A bunch of our young guys have improved a lot, especially some of the freshmen that got here in January, being able to relearn everything over the summer and then get another install in fall camp. So obviously the guys are excited for game week. The coaches are excited. Everybody in the building is excited to go play. You know, you put in all this work and you get 12 sacred Saturdays. So we're going to do everything we can to get ready to go on Saturday.
You know, first game for your Ball State's coach is coming out of your alma mater at Purdue. You know, how unique of a situation is that for you?
It's unique. I mean, it is something I've talked about. My son's a freshman there, so I mean, it's something we've talked about a little bit. But honestly, once you get in there and get ready for warm-ups, a game's a game, and you're gonna be focused on the game. So it's more fun for my family and all that to get to go back and hang out and go to the game.
Yeah, you touched on the excitement of game week. Do you feel just like a different energy around the players so far this week?
Yeah, it's really fun, obviously, because that's their payday to get to go play for all the work they do. But also, you know, you really in training camp, we're running all of our defenses. We have our whole offensive playbook, and we have all of these schemes that we're trying to get ready that we might not use until week 5 or 6. Now in the game plan, we get to shrink it down and give the offensive players, here's the game plan, here's the plays. Defensively, here's the 7 or 8 things we're going to do. Special teams, you know, we've got 4 different punt formations. Well, this is the one we're going to use. So they can really lock in and be way more detailed on a game plan than you can in training camp because they're trying to study everything.
With this being week 1, do you kind of approach it differently than the other weeks?
The only difference is, you know, in week 1 now, they don't know who's going to start for us, and they're not releasing it too deep, so we're not going to either. So we'll have to find out in the first quarter, you know, hey, are they still doing the same things they did at UNLV on defense, or have they changed some things based on their personnel? You know, offensively is kind of a bigger question mark for us because the offensive coordinator wasn't with them, and he's got some different guys on the staff, so we'll have to figure out how they're going to try to attack us. And honestly, the first game of the year, you're kind of feeling yourself out anyways because you don't know what things have changed. You know, I know that they're watching all the Butler film they can watch on us offensively, but we're going to do some things we did at Butler and some things we're not because our personnel is different here. So week 1 of every season is kind of unique.
But talking about preparation, obviously it's the first week you have to lead up for a game. You know, what do you want this week to look like from a preparation standpoint?
It's unique because it's kind of like a bye week because we kind of got started on them last week. So our practices normally would be full pads on Tuesday, first and second down. Wednesday we do third down and red zone. Thursday we dial it back and review the game plan. And Friday we walk through. We're going to get to take some of the physicalness off of the players on Wednesday that we normally have to do because of the extended time we've had to get ready for the game. So we'll have them feeling as good as they can possibly feel by Saturday. So it is a little – next week will be the first time we actually go through a traditional 7-day prep for a game.
What's the atmosphere in that locker room like, knowing, you know, in just a few days we're doing this thing for real?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I just came down here and there's coaches meeting with all of our players upstairs. Guys are stopping by just to talk about cut-ups that we sent them to watch, and they're all excited to play. They should be, man. They work really, really hard. They work really hard, and our guys are excited to go play and show all the work they put in.
Yeah, as far as the offseason goes, what do you feel like has been the team's biggest accomplishment or biggest area of growth so far?
I think we've learned how to practice how we want to practice, and it sounds easy, but it's not. You know, being physical and doing inside run all the time and going in team and finishing plays in team. We've learned how to practice, and I'm really proud of the way that the players and coaches have came together towards a common goal and just all seem to be going in the same direction. You know, it's challenging because you have all those transfers come in, you got a new staff come in, then in May we get a bunch of other players come in, and it doesn't always come together like you want it to, but it came together really fast here this summer. The guys are all working together, and, you know, I see starters helping backups, you know, and I see guys, older guys teaching younger guys, so that's been fun to watch, and I'm excited to watch them play.
How did you really see Kyle kind of progress through camp and up to this preparation in week 1?
He was a great leader when we got here, but he's just becoming more and more confident in the offense. You know, you got to remember, he hasn't played quarterback in a long time, you know. So sitting back there and going through your progression and making the throws and getting us in the right play and all of those things, you know, that's not easy. And he did a nice job in the spring, but he really just looks a lot more comfortable right now just with the offense, and hopefully he continues to do that. You know, I keep telling our team, and I told our staff in a meeting yesterday, you know, we need to get better every week. You know, football's a long season, and we better be better in week 3 than we are in week 1, and we better be better week 8 than we were week 2, and we need to continue to improve. And so we'll go out and we'll go play Saturday, and obviously we're going to go out and try to win the football game. But however that game turns out, we need to be playing better the next week and the next week and the next week, and that's part of winning teams get better as the season goes on. You're never going to stay the same.
Getting into it, how have you seen this defense kind of progress through training camp in preparation for this week 1 game against Purdue?
Yeah, really just focus on the little details. Really understanding the playbook. Everybody's understanding, doing their 1/11ths like we say all the time, flying around, getting to the ball, playing, and just having fun with it. Really, if you don't have fun with it, you're not going to put yourself in a position to win games and get what. We're really grown that way, and I'm very excited to see what we can do on Saturdays and for the rest of the season to come.
Joey, have you noticed kind of like an energy shift knowing that this is the first week you'll see a game?
Oh yeah, I was just talking out there before. It's finally here. We get to hit somebody new. We don't see the same plays over and over. See the same guys go against them all the time. It also really just put on what we've been working for since the winter on full display. In front of 65,000 people, just going out there and doing the Ball State way and putting on a show and hopefully shock the world and show what we can do.
And I know you're from Cincinnati, but being in Indiana here, how much do these in-state games mean maybe a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get to in-state school.
Yeah, I think it means just a little bit more to everybody. Even if you're not from the state, like I am, but you always want to try to own the state and be the best program in that state. So it means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to them as well. But honestly, at the end of the day, we're just going to focus on what we can control and what we do, not try to put too much of a big title on it, and just go out there and play the Ball State way.
Yeah, from a preparation standpoint, Purdue is kind of in a similar spot to Ball State with so many new players and entirely new staff. How did you guys as players kind of embrace the challenges of preparing for a team that you don't know a whole lot about?
It's definitely hard. We obviously don't know kind of personnel-wise and what players are going to do what. We have some things lined up of what we may or may not see, but at the end of the day, they're going to throw things at us that we haven't seen before, and vice versa to them. So we're honestly just going to do what we can do, play what we know how to do, practice what we can do, and just go out there and if something happens we haven't seen before, we'll fix it on the field and we'll get it adjusted and not try to worry about it too much, but to find details that way and whatever happens and we'll go through it like that.
Coach, you said that he kind of expects his team to even win or lose, whatever happens, to get better each week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that the players also kind of buy into?
100%. Like I said, we had a lot of new guys on both sides of the ball, and we'll learn a lot about each other this first week, and we'll keep growing, continuing that way. We'll see what guys are good at, what they aren't good at, and whatever their weaknesses are, we'll try to build that up and improve. So if we can be the best defense in the country and the best defense in the MAC, that's what we strive for every practice, and that's what we've been talking about since the winter.
You said do what we can do a couple of times here. Why is that mentality so important to you?
I just think that in my mind and kind of what we talked about in the defense too is we can only control what we control. They have new players and we have new players as well. But if we try to look down and try and focus on that, like what they're going to do and this and that, I just think that it's kind of something that we more or less say that we can't control that. We can only control what we have and what we do, how we prepare. So if we try to worry about external factors like that, I think it kind of gets rid of the big picture of we're going to play Ball State defense this, and this way, like our goals. And overall, that's how I think we're going to try and do what we can.
How have you and some of the older guys on the defense embraced more of just kind of a leadership role? I know we've talked about it throughout the offseason, but as we get into game week, what's kind of you guys' main focus as far as leading the team?
Number one focus for sure is communication on all ends of the field, starting with the D-line, safeties, linebackers. I just want everybody on the same page, knowing the call. We always say if we're all wrong, we're all right together. If somebody doesn't get the call, that ultimately falls on me. I've been blessed and the leader of the defense, so if they don't get the call, that's on me. So I need to make sure everybody gets the call, everybody understands what they're doing, and if they don't, that's the thing that we've been practicing all since the winter, and we had that problem last year was communication. Guys are on different pages, and I think that's the number one main thing that we need to focus on going into this game is communicating and everybody doing their 1/11th, and I think we'll be successful.
Yeah, you mentioned communication kind of being an issue last year. How much growth have you seen as far as the defense kind of embracing Jeff Knowles and his system and getting that communication down so far?
Really just understanding the playbook. The DBs have done a great job of really diving into the playbook more and understanding what their job is and making the calls and seeing shifts and motions and making it, just a tad quicker and just helping us and the D-line and everybody else get on the same page faster and more accurate than we were last year. And I've seen it grow, and it's helped us a lot since spring ball and obviously all through camp. Thank you, guys.
All right, Joey, thank you. Next up, Ty Robbins. Joey, we good?
Good?
We're good?
We're rolling. Questions for Ty?
You know, what's this preparation been like for you this week? You know, you went through injuries last year, knowing that, you know, you get another chance to showcase your talents on the field.
It's been fun. It's been a long off season, trying to get back to this first game. It's been a process, winter and spring. I was pretty much all out. Like, I didn't do any spring ball. So, you know, I've been in the weight room and treatment, you know, trying to get back right. And now it's finally here, so I'm super excited to get going. I'm super excited to see what this team can do on Saturdays.
Yeah, as far as the offense goes, what kind of growth have you seen from your quarterback, Kyle Kelly, this year? I know he was a guy you spent time with as a receiver last year, but now moving back to quarterback, just what have you liked that you've seen from him?
I really like how he's really embraced that leadership role of the offense. You know, taking control of the huddle, getting with all the receivers in the offseason, making the effort to, you know, come throw, come study plays, come watch film together. He's a really fun dude to be around, man, and once everybody's behind him, like, I think we're going to do big things. He really knows how to lead the offense, so I'm super excited to see what he could do this week.
With this being, you know, a team that has so many new guys, and you guys had camp and all that, but have you sensed maybe like a new energy around it being the first game week?
Yeah, I feel like this is probably one of the most fun camps that I've been a part of. I feel like the energy is just it's just higher. Dudes are, you know, flying around to the ball. Practice means something. Like, if plays aren't made, dudes are, you know, like, upset. Like we're trying to win. So I'm super excited for this weekend. I think the energy throughout camp, throughout winter, has all been there, and the coaching staff has done a great job keeping the energy high, coming in every day, expecting big things from us. And then that carries over to the players as well. Like, everybody expects big things out of each other as well. So I'm really excited for this week to see what we could do.
What's been the biggest difference of the offense, maybe schematically wise, compared to that 2024 team last year?
I would say it's pretty similar. Obviously, we have a really dynamic quarterback. Being able to use him in different things, whether that be QB runs, he could throw the ball really well down the field. Like, I feel like people are going to have to game plan around him, and that's going to open up a lot of other things. I think we're going to have a really dynamic offense, especially with all the playmakers we have on the edge too. I think it's going to be pretty difficult for teams to stop us.
Now, how much fun is it to play in an offense that is, like you said, dynamic?
Yeah, it's really fun, man. Like, every play could be a big play. So whether it's blocking out on the edges, like, everybody has to, you know, go there 100% each time, because you never know. Like, one run could pop, and that could be we have to go make a touchdown block. All of our running backs are really well. Any of them can pop a run. Like I said, Kyle can pop a run. All the receivers are really explosive too. So, like I said again, I'm just super excited to see what we can do this Saturday. Get out there on the field and in front of 65,000 people. They can see what we could do as well.
Yeah, we talked about the dynamic, versatile nature of the offense. The wide receiver room specifically seems to have a lot of versatility. Coach Van said this offseason he likes how the receiver room looks like a basketball team. So
Yeah.
how have you guys kind of how do you kind of see that play out so far, and just talk to me just about kind of the versatility.
Yeah, the receiver room, we have a lot of young dudes who could play as well. We also have a few older dudes like myself who are also leaders. Those younger dudes are, you know, pushing every day in practice, looking up to us. You know, like, we're going out of our way to get with them, watch extra film, do things like that. But I know Coach U has said, like, he wants to play like 7-8 receivers in a game. So, I mean, like, that shows just how many dudes can play, how versatile the receiver room is, and if any of us steps on the field, like, we can make plays. So,
With this being week one, does your approach kind of change at all?
honestly, no, I'm not. It's the first week of the game, so yeah, like, it's different than all the practice weeks that we've had in the past. So, like, the practices will look different, the preparation will look different. But I've been in college for a while. Like, I've played seasons, played football games, so trying not to make it too big of a deal. Like, I'm excited. It's the first week, first game, but, like, I'm just gonna prepare how I've always prepared, do what I know that I need to do so I could be ready on Saturday.
Do you think Coach U and this staff is maybe I mean, if they have they maybe changed the way you think about the game of football?
I think that just like honestly a little bit, just throughout the winter, like me being hurt, all these coaches and all the staff have been super supportive of like my injuries, telling me how like they expect big things out of me this season. So I think that I've just been just super grateful, honestly, this past year, just trying to get back healthy, and then once I am out on the practice field, like just making plays and doing what I need to do. I feel like the coaching staff has been super encouraging, not just to me but to everybody. So yeah, I think this coaching staff and just staff in general has been really helpful.
Yeah, as far as the opponent goes, I mentioned it to Joey. A lot of unknowns with Purdue, a lot of new staff, a lot of new players, kind of similar to here. So, how do you guys, from a player perspective, just go about preparing for a team that there's so many unknowns about?
Yeah, so a lot of the dudes, like I think their coaching staff came from UNLV, so we've just been watching a whole bunch of UNLV film. Kind of like Joey said, like we don't know exactly what players are going to do what personnel is, but we kind of have a good idea of their scheme, what coverages they like to run. So, like at the end of the day, like kind of like Joey said, like we're going to go out there and see different coverages and people that we've never seen before. But that's why we have iPads and coaches on the sideline so we can make adjustments during the game. So, like we're just going to go out there and play, do our 111th, like Joey said, do our jobs, follow our rules. I think we have a good chance to win this week.
Thanks, Ty.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Ty.
Appreciate it.
Next up, Ty Robinson. Thank you, sir.